The restaurant hummed with a soft, sophisticated murmur, a perfect backdrop for the man's meticulously crafted persona. He sat across from his date, a woman whose eyes held a curious blend of admiration and a subtle, unreadable distance. Every word he uttered was polished, every anecdote perfectly timed, each gesture refined and deliberate. He spoke of his latest professional triumph, a complex deal navigated with effortless grace, painting a picture of unassailable competence. His wit sparkled, eliciting polite laughter and nods of approval, yet it felt like a performance, not a conversation. He was, by all accounts, flawless, a paragon of success, intelligence, and charm, embodying the ideal modern man. His date listened intently, occasionally interjecting with an appreciative comment or a thoughtful question. However, as the evening progressed, a subtle chasm began to widen between them. She admired him, certainly, but true connection, that elusive spark of shared humanity, remained just out of reach. He had constructed an unblemished facade, believing implicitly that this polished exterior would garner respect and admiration. He was convinced that presenting an impeccable, unassailable self was the surest path to forging meaningful bonds. Yet, ironically, this very perfection, this absence of any discernible flaw, acted as an invisible barrier. It was the vulnerability paradox in full effect, where the pursuit of an idealized self inadvertently created distance. His confident demeanor, while impressive, left his date feeling like an audience member rather than a participant. She struggled to find an entry point, a genuine crack in the gleaming armor that might allow her to truly connect. His stories, while engaging, lacked the raw edges of real experience, the small imperfections that make a person relatable. Every topic he introduced, every opinion he voiced, seemed carefully curated, devoid of spontaneous vulnerability. He was a master of presentation, but in his flawless delivery, he inadvertently sacrificed intimacy. The conversation flowed smoothly, yet it felt strangely one-sided, a monologue disguised as dialogue. His date found herself searching for something authentic, a glimpse behind the curtain, but found only more perfection. She yearned for a moment of shared awkwardness, a confession of a minor blunder, anything that would humanize him. But he offered none, maintaining his impeccable composure throughout the entire evening. The admiration she felt was intellectual, a recognition of his accomplishments, but it wasn't emotional. It lacked the warmth of genuine empathy, the feeling of being truly seen and understood. The evening concluded with pleasant goodbyes, a polite promise of a future meeting, but no real emotional resonance. He walked away feeling satisfied, believing he had made an excellent impression, unaware of the subtle disconnect. His date, however, felt a lingering sense of incompleteness, a quiet yearning for something more profound. She understood that while he had presented an ideal, he had not presented himself. This initial interaction starkly highlighted the core conflict of the narrative. It was the struggle between presenting an idealized self and the deep human yearning for genuine closeness. The man's belief that perfection was the key to connection had, in fact, only created a subtle yet significant barrier. His carefully constructed facade, while impressive, had inadvertently kept true intimacy at bay. The evening, for all its superficial success, underscored the profound truth of the vulnerability paradox. It set the stage for a transformative shift, hinting at the eventual unraveling of his polished exterior. The narrative established that true connection often blossoms not from flawlessness, but from shared imperfection. It foreshadowed a moment when the man would inevitably have to shed his armor. Only then could he bridge the gap between his idealized self and his authentic self. The quiet distance in his date's eyes was a silent testament to the limits of perfection. It was a subtle invitation for him to reveal something more, something real. The air between them, though filled with polite conversation, held an unspoken tension, a tension born from the absence of true, unvarnished human interaction. He had sought admiration, and he had received it in abundance. But admiration, he would soon learn, was not the same as connection. The evening was a masterclass in self-presentation, yet a failure in genuine engagement. His date left with a sense of having observed a brilliant performance, not with the feeling of having truly met another soul. The polished surface he presented, while dazzling, reflected everything but his true self. It was a mirror, not a window, into his inner world. He had skillfully avoided any hint of weakness or uncertainty, but in doing so, he had also avoided any real opportunity for intimacy. The narrative subtly questioned the value of such flawless presentation. It suggested that perhaps true strength lay not in invulnerability, but in the courage to be vulnerable. The initial interaction served as a powerful illustration of this paradox. It highlighted how much we often sacrifice in the pursuit of an unblemished image. The man's journey, it implied, would involve dismantling this very facade. Only then could he hope to achieve the deep, authentic connection he unknowingly craved. The dinner was a prelude, a carefully constructed opening act, setting the stage for the profound transformation that awaited him. A transformation rooted in the power of genuine, unedited humanity and the unexpected beauty of imperfection. While his initial polished facade had created an admiring distance, a different night brought a profound shift. This time, the setting was simpler, the atmosphere less performative, and the air was charged with an unspoken potential. During their dinner, amidst a lull in conversation, the man uncharacteristically shared something unplanned and true. It was a slightly unflattering anecdote about a past professional misstep, delivered not with self-deprecation, but genuine humility. His voice, usually so controlled, carried a tremor of authentic vulnerability, a stark contrast to his earlier composed delivery. This raw admission acted as a crucial crack in the surface of his carefully constructed persona. It didn't diminish him. Instead, it authenticated his entire being, revealing the human beneath the veneer. His companion, who had previously felt like an observer, was now drawn in with a powerful sense of recognition. It wasn't pity that she felt, but a deep, resonant understanding of his shared humanity. This moment perfectly illustrated the Pratfall Effect, where imperfection in a capable person is perceived as trustworthiness. His willingness to expose a flaw made him not weaker, but infinitely more relatable and appealing. The barrier that perfection had erected between them began to subtly, yet significantly, crumble. Later, as the evening deepened into a late-night walk through the quiet, lamp-lit streets, he shared another unedited, real thought, a quiet reflection on a personal fear he harbored. It wasn't dramatic or grand, but deeply personal, a quiet confession whispered into the cool night air. His companion didn't offer immediate advice or effusive comfort. Her reception was silent and thoughtful. She simply listened, her gaze steady and understanding, allowing the weight of his words to settle between them. This quiet, accepting space she created allowed something fundamental to shift and solidify. It was in these shared moments of unvarnished truth that a deep attachment began to forge itself. 1,000 polished sentences, witty remarks, or impressive achievements could never have achieved such intimacy. This burgeoning connection proved that courage in vulnerability, not invulnerability, was the true path to genuine closeness. The man, once a master of self-presentation, was learning the profound power of simply being himself. His companion, in turn, was discovering the beauty of a soul laid bare, not for judgment, but for connection. The air between them, once filled with admiration, now hummed with a nascent, authentic bond. Each shared imperfection became a thread, weaving their individual stories into a shared tapestry. The fear of being seen, once a driving force, was replaced by the joy of being truly known. He found that shedding his armor didn't expose him to harm, but to a deeper, more meaningful embrace. The vulnerability paradox had resolved itself, revealing that true strength lay in honest self-exposure. Their journey from polite admiration to profound connection was a testament to this simple truth. The quiet courage to be imperfect had opened doors that perfection had kept firmly shut. He felt a lightness he hadn't known before, a freedom from the constant performance. His companion saw not just a man, but a complex, beautiful human being, flaws and all. The initial barrier of his flawless facade had dissolved, replaced by a bridge of shared humanity. Their conversations now flowed with an ease and depth that had been absent before. No longer was she searching for an entry point. She was already deeply inside his world. The Pratfall Effect had worked its magic, transforming admiration into genuine affection. He realized that true intimacy wasn't about impressing, but about inviting someone into his authentic self. The late-night walks became a ritual, a space for quiet confessions and shared silences. Each unedited thought, each small vulnerability, deepened the roots of their connection. He was no longer striving for an idealized image, but embracing the messy reality of his existence. And in doing so, he found not just acceptance, but a love that transcended superficiality. The transformative shift in their dynamic was complete, a testament to the power of authentic self-revelation. The man had learned that true strength wasn't in hiding his imperfections, but in sharing them. His companion's thoughtful reception had been the catalyst, creating a safe harbor for his truth. Their bond, forged in vulnerability, promised a future built on genuine understanding and trust. The struggle between idealized self and yearning for closeness had found its resolution. He had finally found the courage to be truly seen, and in that, he found true connection. The narrative had moved from a paradox of perfection to a celebration of shared humanity. Their story became an embodiment of how imperfection can be the most beautiful form of connection. The quiet moments of shared truth had spoken louder than any grand gesture ever could. He had traded a facade of invincibility for the profound strength of being truly vulnerable, and in her eyes, he saw not judgment, but a reflection of his most authentic, beloved self. The journey from guarded admiration to deep attachment was a revelation for them both. Each shared flaw became a testament to their growing trust and unwavering acceptance. The man's transformation was complete, a testament to the power of embracing one's true self. His companion's quiet strength had guided him to this profound realization. Their bond, once distant, now resonated with the warmth of genuine, unvarnished love. The vulnerability paradox had been conquered, replaced by the simple, powerful truth of connection. He understood now that true intimacy wasn't about being perfect, but about being real. And in that reality, they found a love that was both deep and enduring.